Let's talk turkey on this table saw. Harvey Table Saw. This is the Alpha HW110S-36P. I did not memorize that. I read it literally off the side because I'm not an expert at remembering all these things. It's 4 horsepower. This was gifted from Harvey. I'm a Harvey partner. This table saw was gifted along with the Harvey G700 dust collection unit, which I do not have hooked up to this yet. We are pulling sawdust out of it with a Mini Gorilla by Oneida. It's working pretty good, but I got a feeling that the Harvey G700 is going to be much better. It's doing pretty good though. So let's get into it just a little bit. This is just an initial first impressions, first thoughts. I'm not, by the way, an expert when it comes to putting things together or the setup of these types of things. I'm a woodworker. I am not a machinist. So I didn't do the unboxing. I'm not going to show you the unboxing. I'm not going to show you putting it together. What I will say is that it was pretty easy to put together. And if I could put it together, pretty much anybody could put it together. Probably your 10-year-old son or daughter could put it together if I did it. Out of the box, fit and finish, spot on. Everything is in working order. I was missing a knob for the fence. Not a big deal. Harvey customer service was like right on the ball. I said I didn't get it in the package. They sent it back out to me within a couple weeks just because they were behind. It was the holidays and I was in no hurry. No big deal at all. The directions, pretty good. They're not in color or anything like that, no fancy pictures, but easy to follow. Like I said, I'm not the bar for like the best person in the world to put these things together, and I did it, so I feel like that holds some weight. Fence. Kind of some of the high points here. Fence moves nice and smooth. Now I have mine set up so that it doesn't glide. Like I'm not going to be able to just slide it off and push it right off the bars. That's not how I like it. I like to be able to give it a little bump and set it in place. But people do set it up a little bit smoother than what I have it, and I have seen them push it with one finger and it glides. They do have another fence system out that's newer than this, the Big Eye fence rip system, and by all accounts that thing is fantastic. So probably an upgrade over this. This is the European high-low system. Probably always will have it in the high position, but the low position kind of nice if you're cutting strips or different things that are thin material, and you can kind of like get access with your push stick and everything in there a little bit better. There's 2 readouts on here. I'll probably bring you in a second. I'm going to show you this. There's 2 readouts for the high and low position. I'll probably put a piece of tape over top of the low position one. That way I don't get confused and set my fence thinking it's in the high position orientation and I mess up a cut. So keep that in mind that there's 2 readouts on here. This is a 4 horsepower unit, like I said. So it plows through anything you're going to ever want to use it to cut through, barring 3/4 inch steel. Your white oaks, your hardwoods, hard maple, you name it, it'll cut through it just fine. I'm comparing this to a Delta Unisaw that I had for 20 years, about 22 years to be exact. And I would say that the fit and finish on this is a little bit better as far as like ease of use on these knobs. They're nice and big. They're plated here. They do the thing. They move up and down super easy. Both of them do super easy. Here's something that maybe most folks wouldn't care about or do care about, but the position of this on-off switch, I like it better. It's a little bit further to the left. My Delta Unisaw, as I was cutting through, sometimes my hip or my thigh, not an anatomy major, would turn this off. So having this moved over to the left a little bit further, the bee's knees. I like it. I've yet to bump this with my thigh. That's not been an issue. The other thing that I like about it is the dust collection. Like I said, I don't have the Harvey G700 hooked up to it yet. My Oneida is pulling pretty well. The difference between the dust collection on this and my old Delta Unisaw, the Delta Unisaw was like an empty cabinet that had angles on it at the bottom. This is technical. That went down to the 4-inch pipe, kind of a gravity feed situation. The one in here, and I'll bring you in, I guess, to take a look at that. When you pop this off, there's like a little orange sleeve or cover that's kind of a shroud, if you will, a shroud. That sounds about right. That covers the blade, or like is on the side of the blade. You can adjust that shroud a little bit, and there is a 4-inch hose that is positioned right up behind or underneath that blade. So in theory, it's getting the source of the vacuum pull closer to the saw in the, you know, all the sawdust. So it's supposed to capture it, shoot it down that flexible tube, out the back, into your dust collection unit. I think that's a good idea. So far, so good. I can see a potential issue possibly if you're not using a zero clearance fence or insert, not fence, but an insert, throat plate, whatever. A zero clearance throat plate, where if you cut a real thin strip and sometimes, you know, that'll get sucked down into the table saw, that might clog up that pipe. But as far as access goes, there's a big door on the side here, and it takes about, I don't know, 5.65 seconds to get that door open, clear the pipe, and then you're cooking with gas again. So it's not that big of a deal. I think it should be fine. What else about this table saw? I just did the 36-inch wide model here. This is a 36-inch rib capacity. It's not the 52-inch. I used to have a 52-inch. I'm running a woodworking shop, furniture making shop. And there's a retail portion of a business up there, opening up a brick and mortar. So I do this for a living. And 36 is going to be fine. I'm not, I'm not ripping down sheets of 4x8 sheets of plywood every single day. I'm doing furniture. So this capacity for me is going to work pretty good. I threw a little outfeed table on here. All is well. Came with a Harvey Table Saw blade that seemed to cut pretty darn good. It was a full kerf blade. I happen to prefer the Freud thin kerf blades. I think it's just easier on the motor. I just like to run a thin kerf blade. This is nothing against Harvey. That blade was going to be good, but I did replace it, just so you guys know. Thin kerf blades, to me, like I said, they're easier on the motor. They cut through the material quicker. There's less heat generated, yada, yada, yada. You don't need me to explain all that. If you're a woodworker and you're watching this, you probably already know. So enough said. What else do I like about this machine? Like I said, this is initial thoughts. I've ran through about 200 board feet of white oak on it, 8/4 and 4/4. I ran through quite a bit of 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood on this thing. Everything is cutting nice and true. The fence is accurate. The fence is easy to set up. The fence is adjustable. I mean, what else do I need to say? So initial thoughts, like I said, we'll go through. Everything is flat and true. Everything is accurate. It's powerful. The dust collection is adequate, and probably better when I get the G700 hooked up to it. I've had no issues. Some of the fit and finish has been very nice. The on-off switch over here being moved to the left a little bit further, I like it. I think that's a small detail that not many people care about. I happen to care about it. I'll go over more things. This is just my first thoughts and impressions. I'm not going to get too crazy with this video. The more I use it, the more we'll talk about it. The more I get set up with it, the more we'll talk about it. It'll be like an ongoing review process. We'll do a 6-month update, maybe a year update. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'll give you updates as you want them. Bleep bloop something down in the comments if you have a question. I will answer you. I am going to go ahead and in the description below provide a link to their website so that you can look at the fine Harvey equipment. Like I said, they are a partner of mine. I'm not paid to say any of this stuff. They don't even review this video. They just say, Josh, say whatever you want about it. Good, bad, the ugly. Just like Clint Eastwood, one of my favorite movies. Say whatever you want. We don't have to review the video. We just appreciate that you're going to give it a little review and talk about it. I wouldn't have chose Harvey to partner up with if I didn't think their machinery was well made. Customer service, like I said, has been spot on, and that's not what you get all the time with other companies. So very, very happy so far. I will also be doing a review on that G700 dust collection unit, and there will be other products come along. Oh, I should also say, blow the dust off this for a second. The Harvey Compass RG2. This is basically like a feather board that's on steroids, a beefed up feather board. We have adjustability here in these rollers. These rollers will only roll one way. So like traditional feather boards, you guys have either made them, you guys and gals, I should say, have either made them or bought them. They have these little angled, feather pieces. These little guys, they look like fingers and they're on an angle. So the thought process is you keeps things pushed against your table saw fence. It's not gonna kick back quite as easily. So that's the thought process here. So if we have rollers, and these rollers are, they kind of adjust right here. You can adjust things, in and out. That kind of adjusts the tension that you can put on the board as it's going through. They kind of, push in. I don't know if you can see the tension. What I'm trying to say is it's well made. It's a tank. It's machined aluminum, heavy duty, quite a bit of travel, which is nice right here. Lots of travel. So this is something that you can add. From Harvey, they have the RG2 model. They have the RG1 model. The only difference is, I believe, in the height. This is a two-wheeled model, so it's a little bit taller. RG1 is a single-wheeled, thinner model. I'd like to be a thinner model. What else can I talk about? Oh, let me walk over here. Along with that table saw, you get the compass miter gauge. Now, a lot of these places you got to like buy in addition to the saw. They kind of come with those cheapo miter gauges. This is not a cheapo miter gauge. Super, like, probably overusing the word super. I don't have any other descriptive words in my vocabulary, evidently, but it's done very well. I'll just say that. It's, again, machined very nice. It's heavy duty. We have a kind of a very nice stop block system here on the end. Rides in this track that's on the top. It extends right here. I mean, it's adjustable. It's accurate. Got a big knurled knob here to, like, you know, it's what I'm saying. It's nice. It's nice. It's a nice system. I'll review that later as well. Harvey, pretty happy with the whole darn thing. I think if you would check them out, look at their website, see what they have to offer, talk to customer service, look up their IG page. I can link that below too as well. I think you'd be happy. I'm happy. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say right now. That's my initial first thoughts on this Harvey table saw system. Again, it's the Harvey Alpha HW110S-36P. I read it again off the bottom of the table saw because I do not have it memorized, but that's what it is. Check out the Compass RG1, RG2, the Compass miter gauge system. I think you'd be happy with all of them. I really do. That's all I got. Check back in some other time and I'll talk about it some more.